Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. My name is Mars, and today we're going to be doing the Gladio strat for the Scorn of the Icebird, and this is a particularly evil fight, but it is one where a pair of Gladiolus can really dig in and do some work. So today's guide is oriented all about showing you how to actually use this strat, because it does come up quite a bit. I've heard people mention it a few times, so I figured, hey, I've pulled enough Gladios, I can go ahead and try this out, and it does work with some level of consistency. So this could be an alternative method to people who are not finding success with the strategies that they're currently running. So the way that it works is we're making use of Gladiolus' Royal Guard skill. This picks a single target, and he covers them for any and all types of damage all the time. Whenever that target is targeted by any attack, he jumps in front of them and mitigates it like crazy. So it makes whatever target you're covering untargetable. The boss cannot damage them. Now, one of the biggest challenges with Glacial is there's a ton of elemental damage that goes out that cannot be covered by magic tanks, and it cannot be covered by physical tanks. So your squishies and your damage dealers and stuff, they're just getting slapped left and right by these attacks that can't be covered. And so you have to gear friends with appropriate resistances and make sure you're buffing resistances, or maybe watching out for imperils if your resistance isn't high enough, and it's a giant pain in the butt. With Gladiolus, you don't really care. You just equip your Gladios, or use your Gladio with a friend Gladio to have all the resist that you need, and then you just cover whatever unit you are most afraid of losing. Now, this does not combine with any other tanks, so you can't use a Gladio to cover one person and then a magic tank to cover everything else. You could use a separate provoke tank if you wanted to. That's definitely an option, although I wouldn't recommend it. The whole point of a double Gladio strat is to just soak up the damage that goes towards those damage dealers. Now, one of the things that it does require is it does require any other units that you bring to be very, very tanky or reliant on re-raise, or that you just don't need them at all. So for example, I have two Gladiolus, which means I can cover two units. I can cover Circe here, and I can cover the other Circe. And these are both built for maximum damage. Of course, this one doesn't have the correct killer for this fight, but it's not a big deal. This one is built for damage, as is mine. Mine is just EP'd out to the maximum, okay? She's going to be doing as much damage as possible. But you'll see she doesn't have the resistances that she needs. And that's because she's not going to take any damage after this first turn. But Sylvie and Mira, in this case, they have to be extremely tanky because they're going to be taking a lot of damage. And we're going to have to rely on re-raise and stuff like that from Mira. So it is a little bit of a pain in the butt to manage these other units, but if it doesn't work out, you can't fit these other two units, they just get exploded every single time. What you can do instead is just drop the two of them and then take two Gladios, take a solo damage dealer that one covers, and then put your support unit behind the other one, and then you have a super invincible team. So that's an alternative strat. But anyways, let's dive into how to make this work. Turn one, we're not going to be able to dispel the boss's turn, but that is okay, probably. Sometimes this goes sideways really, really fast, but what we're going to do with Mira is raise up our Circes and cast re-raise on the party, because Sylvie and Mira are exposed and the boss is buffed, so we need to make sure that they have the best chance of surviving as possible. Now, the two Gladios cover each of their respective Circes, and then Sylvie is going to go ahead and give us elemental resistance as well as stop resistance. If the Gladios get stopped, it's game over for Circe. And watch during this phase, and you'll see any damage that targets Circe is actually going to be something that Gladio jumps in front of, just like that. And you can see he's taking no damage at all. Perfect, perfect. We're doing okay. Yep. Yeah, see, we're fine. No problems at all. Now, like I said, it does require these two extra units to be geared very, very well. or you have to leave them at home. Or you can use a third Gladiolus. Like if I replace Sylvie with Gladio, I could have him cover Mira, and then I have 3 indestructible units behind Gladios. You know, kind of a dream strat if I'm being perfectly honest, but not one that a lot of people are going to be able to pull off. So anyways, this turn we're going to go ahead and dispel the boss. We're going to heal up the party. And then Sylvie's going to go ahead and give us ailment immunity. We don't want any of that yucky stuff coming our way. And we're going to do our big buffs for this turn. Now, the Gladioluses, they don't really have anything else that they have to do from here on out. They can just defend. They've got your tanking covered. And we can go ahead and lay into our rotation with Circe. Now, I know the mission for this fight, one of them includes killing the 2 bonus birds with limit bursts. I think there's enough videos out there of people doing that, so I'm going to go ahead and focus primarily on just getting through the fight. If I don't get that mission, not a big deal. This is more to demonstrate how you can use this strategy for yourself. So don't be mad if I don't get the kill with LB stuff. Awesome, awesome. Now you'll see here in a second, even when the reflected damage comes out, which is normally uncoverable, the Gladios are going to jump in front of it. No problem. So we're going to get reflect damage. Gladios cover it, no problem. And that's normally uncoverable by other AoE cover tanks. And that's why this fight, honestly, is a load of BS. This fight is the biggest pain in my butt I have ever experienced. I hate it so much. It's so stupid. But, you know, it is what it is. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and... Mira is the most important person that's not being covered, so I want to make sure that she's taking care of it all times. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and just use a re-raise from Sylvie. Probably could have given her dual cast through an equip or a materia or whatever. That would have been smart, but I'm not the smartest player. I never pretended that's what I was. All right, we're going to go ahead and load up with Circe. Let's see how this does. Now, like I said, I'm not going for the kill with LB missions, so, you know, if you're doing that, don't kill all the small ones. But that's not something I'm going for in this particular run, because we just want to show off how you can use double Gladio to get through this fight. See, oh, Sylvie, no, honey. Yeah, oof, that just hurts so bad. Yeah, so for Sylvie this turn, we're going to go ahead and keep her LB up, because that is a large amount of mitigation, and we want to take advantage of that as best as possible. And then, since she didn't die, we're actually able to, let's see, we have Interlude, we can heal with, and we can apply a re-raise on her, just in case she goes down. So now we have re-raise on both Mira and Sylvie. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, Gladio needs to refresh Royal Guard on each of his targets. The enhanced version lasts for 3 turns, and it buffs his own stats, so super good. If you have unenhanced Royal Guard, the mitigation, of course, is lower, and the turn count is lower. So keep that in mind if you choose to go in with an unenhanced Gladio. I'd recommend enhancing him if you're going for this, but it may not be necessary. All right, let's see how this does. Oh, I had a Roboros available that turn, didn't I? I should have used it. Plus, I don't think the boss's spirit is broken. Yes, we would have done, like, way more damage. We'll go ahead and try that next turn. See, Circe taking no damage, no problem at all. This is fine. Easy, easy fight. Let's see how much this does with Ouroboros this turn. Because we have... We're going to do 3 of those. We're going to finish with an Ouroboros. And this hits crazy hard. It's really, really good. Circe is like the most fun mage to ever come out in Global. She's incredible. Alright, we should still have our re-raises, so I don't mind taking a turn to go ahead and we're going to imperil the boss and break defense and spirit. Now, the boss is already imperiled to fire because of Circe's LB, but this break is going to make it so that all of Circe's damage does more damage leading up to Ouroboros, which also applies a break. So let's see how this does. Ooh, a Spark Chain. This is going to hurt very hard for the boss. Yeah, I like that a lot. So if we had any of the small birds still alive at this point, they would have formed up into a big one. or into the 2 clone bonus big ones, and you have to kill those with a limit burst to get the bonus mission. Like I said, this is a demonstration more than it is like a guide of how to, you know, clear this fight. Specifically, this is how you can alternatively, you know, handle the BS from this fight. Now, one thing I do want to make note of is Gladio's limit burst has a defense break, but it also has a provoke. In my testing for this fight, it turned out to be a really bad idea to provoke with Gladiolus, and the reason for that is because his cover is less likely to activate if he's being targeted by all the single target stuff. So a lot of times my Gladios would just die before they had a chance to cover the sources, and then the sources would die. So you just want to use Royal Guard, you want to defend, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and keep ailment buffs up, and we want stop resist up, because if Gladio gets stopped, it's game over. Easy, easy. We still have our big elemental resist buffs up, so this should be relatively easy. The hardest part surviving for this fight for our support units is the AoE physical attack that goes out, as well as that. Holy crap. Ow, 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 ow. I don't like those. Anyways, that's what re-raise is for, because that hurts like crazy. But yeah, as you can see, we're fine. Gladiolus has, you know, free turns, because he just, you know, guards and defends. So if you need to use an item like we do now to dispel the boss, he absolutely can, because his Royal Guard's still up, so just dispel the boss. Easy, easy. We'll defend with this one, because I don't think he has anything else he needs to do. And then I could have healed with him, because here's what I'm going to do next. I am concerned about Mira and Sylvie surviving, so I'm going to go ahead and do some buffs on them. Actually, I'm going to do Mira first. We're going to go ahead and cast Re-Raise on ourselves with Mira. She doesn't have her cooldown back up yet, which is too bad, but that's okay. I don't think we need it. We're going to go ahead and entrust to Sylvie. Wait, hold on. What did I do? I have to remember. We're going to Re-Raise ourselves. That's the plan. Re-Raise self, and then entrust to Sylvie. I think. I don't know if this is the best idea, but, you know, we're going to try it. Sylvie may die, but it'll be okay. I will live without Sylvie momentarily. Now we're going to go ahead and LB again with Circe, get that Imperil back up. And as you can see, a breaker is optional in this fight because the boss cannot be attack or magic broken. If you use defense or spirit breaks, it will increase your outgoing damage by quite a bit, which is super handy, but it is not required. So that's just something to keep in mind. Oh yeah, we're going to lose them again. All right. See, it's okay. We don't need Sylvie. We probably don't even need Sylvie for the rest of the fight. But what we can do is we can go ahead and use this nice little wombo combo of full life and re-raise. And this is why Mira is broken. You can do the same combo with Aerith. You can do this combo with Lotus Mage Fina. You can do it with any of them as well. And it is super handy for getting a party back on its feet. Now this is the turn we have to refresh Royal Guard. So we just are guarding our Circes. Boom, boom, ready to go. And as you can see, Circe has taken 0 damage this entire fight, because that's amazing. No, I can't remember. I don't think I have a Ouroboros this turn. I don't even think, yeah, I don't even have it next turn. It's in a couple of turns. So if you wanted to do this a little bit more methodically, you could lower the boss's HP and then burst him down with a Ouroboros, but we can be a little more reckless since we're leaning on Re-Raise and the double Gladios to just carry us through the fight. Ooh, a Spark Chain. Now you can see without the defense break it does do quite a lot less damage, but it is still sufficient. Alright, bring the pain. Oof, yeah, dead. Yep, yep, yep. We could be in trouble. Oh, please don't kill Sylvie. Please don't. Please do not do that. Cool. When is Mira's offensive cooldown available? We have 2 turns for that. Okay, so that's out of the question. Let's go ahead and, boy, it gets tougher on these turns because I know that the clock is ticking. I have to use good actions to keep ahead of... Oh, the boss has mitigation up. That explains it. Okay, so what I'm going to do with Circe this turn is I'm actually going to activate Condemn, because once you push past 30% on this boss, it brings the pain. Now, Circe and Gladios are going to be totally fine, obviously, because they have Gladio to protect them. But Sylvie and Mira are going to be in a bad way. And in fact, I'm already a little bit concerned about their state of being, just because they are vulnerable to all of the attacks from the boss. So we're going to do our best to keep them from dying. I'm pretty sure Sylvie's going to go down this turn, but there's not a lot I can do about that. So we're just going to try and get the best value out of her last turns on this earth with us, which is going to be Elemental Resist and Stop Resist, which is what our 4 most important characters need the most, the Gladios and the Circes. So hopefully, you know, I don't think she's going to make it out of this. I'm pretty sure she's dead. So she resisted that. Yeah, she's dead. There's no way she survives this. You know, it was worth a try. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. Nice, yeah, Gladios, keep generating those LB Chris for me, please. Nice, nice, nice. So I would have liked to have burst the boss down this turn, but as you'll see, the boss has buffed itself, and I'm concerned about being able to burst him down effectively. So what we're going to go ahead and do is use one of those exciting free turns I mentioned before, and Gladiolus is going to go ahead and dispel the boss. And then Mira is going to go ahead and... she's going to heal the party. I think we're going to do, well, yeah, let's do intro. And then we're going to do re-raise on herself. Perfect, perfect. Now, I would chain this up, but I don't want to push the boss. Yeah, I really don't want to push the boss. So we're just going to go ahead and do them one at a time. So now we have the Imperil applied. We have Quadcast ready to go. And then what we can do next turn is fire the laser and hopefully just kill the boss in one turn from this point. Bye-bye, Mira, and she's back. Perfect, perfect. And you can see Gladiolus doesn't really care. He takes so many hits, and then he heals himself by a bunch. He really is just outstanding. The other thing we can do is we can use Mira to help us with the damage, because she has her cooldown, so that'll be handy. So we get a big Imperil, which, you know, we have an equal Imperil already, but the Spirit Break will help us as well. And then we're going to go ahead and re-raise on herself again, just in case. If it's not enough, we would be in trouble. But I have a hunch this is going to be enough damage. I don't know for certain. So we're going to go ahead and do 3 of these, and then an Ouroboros, and see where that gets us. Ooh, a Spark Chain. I'm getting really good at that. Oh yeah. Yep, bye-bye, boss. Yeah, so that's how you can use a double Gladiolus strat against Scorn of Glacial. You can use this against pretty much any fight. You know, the opportunity exists to try it against any other fight, but it does not work effectively against all fights. The reason why this works so well for Glacial is because the boss is not attack and magic breakable. So you're not spending your actions reducing the boss's attack and magic. So you can you have to tank the damage raw anyways. So you may as well put your units behind the tankiest tank in the game. So that's pretty much how you run the double Gladio strat. Let me know down in the comments below if this is something that has piqued your interest. I don't necessarily recommend UOCing Gladioluses to be able to do this because the gear requirement is still there. It's just a different variation on a similar gear requirement, if that makes sense. So let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments below, and I will see everybody in the next one.